G'day guys, Carla from Degree Travel. Today, we're in the garage with the big girl. Finally showed up, got the new awning. Got a 230 Raven 2500. So basically it's a 2.5 metre by 2.5 metre awning. And we're going to mount her up on the passenger side to the cane-toed roof rack. So let's get into it. We'll tear this box open, see what we've actually got, see what it looks like, and then we'll work out how we're going to bolt her on. Now I must say, it is a bit heavier than what I was expecting. I can only assume that this bag is all the mounting brackets, pegs, guide ropes, all that stuff. So we're looking for heavy duty L brackets, some guide ropes, mounting hardware, just a couple of pegs. So I'm hoping that I can just put enough bolts through this to get down to the bolt holes that are already in the roof rack and just bolt her in, and I reckon that might be close. Now I preempted I'd need some longer bolts, so I actually went to a bolt shop before this arrived and bought some, I think they're an M6 by 45 long. The only issue I'm going to have is I think the washers, I'm going to need a broader flat washer, but I've probably got some of them lying around. So we'll just mock these brackets up, see if we can actually get them to sit where they need to sit, and then we'll work out how to actually do this. Alright, so I've got some broad M6 washers floating around, so this will work. I'll show you. So all I've done, longer bolts, these are the brackets for that actually holds the roof platform on. So with all these, it should all tighten down and then just sandwich between the two, and with a little bit of luck, it won't go anywhere. But we'll get it all set up, we'll put the brackets on the awning so they can slide, we'll put her on the roof, we'll put a strap on it, then we'll align everything, and then we'll get it bolted up. So I just played around with the roof rack, test fit the brackets, move some of the roof rack bolts around. So what I've done, I've loosely fit the L brackets to the awning. We'll put the awning up on top, and then we should be able to get the brackets bolted to the roof rack and then be able to just slide it along and adjust it, and hopefully that'll work. Flawless. Just put one strap on it to hold it in place. I'll put a couple of bolts in the front and the back, and hopefully we'll get it in place. What a bloody mission. These will sandwich alright, so that'll be fine. Back set up. Bolted that one down hard already. Slid the awning down. Got the positioning right. I'm hoping that we can still fit a low cut snorkel in there, but we'll see how we go. But as for how it sits on the car, it's okay. So now we'll just get it all tightened up, and then we'll set it up and see if it's any good. So that's front profile, nice and close to the rack. It doesn't actually really add much height, don't get me wrong, it does sit a little bit higher than the rack. Who would have thought 12 bolts would be so hard to do up, but it's done. It's there, it's solid, it's not going anywhere.
No pressure, he says. It's my first time flying the drone.
I just don't fly it.
I meant the first time I flew it was pretty good.
All right, so I know I'm gonna get a lot of questions about why didn't I get a 270 or 180 degree awning? And the answer is plain and simple. I just don't have the height to put anything higher on the roof. So the way this sits on the roof rack, it's a bit of a bad angle, but the way it sits on the roof rack is it's only just above the rack. So it still fits in my garage. Originally I was gonna get a 2 meter by 2 meter awning because I didn't want it to stick out past the front or the rear of the car. As it turns out, the 2.5 meter awning doesn't stick out at all. So it worked out quite good. And when we eventually get the snorkel in, low cut snorkel should fit across there nicely, should still have room for the snorkel. Now the next thing, why 23.0? I bought a 23.0 swag to use on my adventures when the kids come with me, and it turns out it's a really bloody good swag. Did a little bit of research. I discovered that the awning's got everything I was looking for in an awning. One of the main things that I was looking for are these Flexi Knuckles. So these awnings, when they break, it's generally because the wind's grabbed them and they're flexed. So these knuckles in here, or all the knuckles on this awning, they're made of like a polyurethane or something similar to that, so they actually flex a little bit, so the awning does have movement and it's not putting all that rigid stress through the actual aluminium. Another thing I liked about the 23.0 is it's all one piece aluminium. So this extrusion here has got the mounts on the back and all that, it's all one piece, it's not two pieces riveted together. So what that means is it's less likely to actually break and come apart. So I'll show you that. Green on top, black underneath. And what it does is it deflects all the heat. So these awnings, whilst they do protect you from the shade, they get quite hot and the heat still radiates down from them. But this one is nowhere near as bad. When you put your hand on it, you can feel the heat in it, but you take your hand away and it's cool, instantly cool. Whether it lasts or not's another question, but I think this lining is a really good idea. Another reason for the 23.0 awning as well is it's pretty slim. It's got a nice black bag. All the logos on these awnings are all big and obnoxious, but the 23.0 logo is not too bad. It doesn't stick out that much. Like all these awnings, it's got extra tracking in it. So you can see these two little circles. So you can actually mount like awning sides. I've got a little LED light that actually sits in one of these tracks. The same on this bracket as well. It's got a track on the back of it. In my opinion, it would have been better if the bag was on the back and that tracking was in the front, but obviously it's the way it rolls up. Everything's double stitched. It's got like reinforcing on it, so it seems like it's good. Got reinforced corners. When you roll it up, these corners generally sit against that and they do get a bit of vibration and rub. You got the little tassels on the end, so you can put your guide ropes on it and tie it down. One thing I'll show you with the guide ropes, I actually learned this quite a few years ago. Right, basic guide rope, got the end of it. What you want to do with these ends is just tie a loop. So I used to be a Boy Scout, so we do a double figure of 8. So what you want to do is you leave enough room so that you can loop it around like that. I'll show you that again. So fingers in, loop it around, and then what it creates is a little slip knot. That's your little tie down tassel. That's your figure of 8 slip knot. You tie that down, and then that just pinches onto it and holds onto it. If you do that with both your guide ropes, easy quick attach and quick detach knots on your guide ropes. So then it's a bit hard to do this one-handed, but then just pull on the loop and it comes undone. Just like that. One of the other things I will show you is all these awnings have got Velcro tabs, and that's just to keep it nice and taut. What I find is if it's windy, I generally just put these middle ones down and that's enough to hold it. I'm packing it up. This is good that you can see the flex in the joints. So minimal flex on the awning, it's more in the joints. So the poles all have these blocks of rubber that just hold them in place. Another thing is, I don't know if you can actually see that, but it's got good quality SBS zippers on it. And that's the profile on the front looking up over it. So as far as awnings go, it's pretty sleek, pretty slimline, doesn't stick out too much. And you've got good gap between the roof sill and the awnings. It doesn't move too much anyway once it's up there. But there you have it. That's the 23.0 2500 Raven awning. Love to hear your thoughts and opinions. Anything, whatever you got, comment it below. If you like what you see, feel free to subscribe. And until next time guys, go travel.